Hello, welcome back to the We're Not From Hollywood podcast. I'm Brandon Reines.
I'm Faizel, and today we have the guy with the biggest heart I know, and I keep telling him, you need to get that checked out, Kelly. You need to go to the doctor. Actor extraordinaire, Kelly Krause, and meat connoisseur.
Thanks for coming on the show, Kelly.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
People may know Kelly. He was in, I think the first time I worked with him was in Hot Box, where he played the pot smoking politician, Art Pritzker. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he came back in the Grotesque and Grotesque 2 as the goon. He was the muscle behind the tough talking bookie guy. So maybe start off, tell us about how you first got interested in acting.
I answered an ad. It was about 7 years ago. I was about 50 years old. And I answered an ad for a local movie that was being done here called Puppy Love or Morgan's Milk, or whatever you want to call it. And I got that job. And while I was waiting for that to come up, I auditioned for another job with the Edmonton Eskimos, One Empire. So I was doing both those. So halfway through One Empire, they called me and said you had to be on set on Morgan's Milk or Puppy Love right now. So I had to take off from that one, and that's how I got into it. And it just, people say you get bit by the acting bug, and it's 100% right. I got bit by the acting bug, and it was a lot of fun.
You were a DJ in your previous life too, right?
Yeah, I was a few things. One of them was that I was a DJ. Yes.
It's kind of funny how it's funny how you mentioned, just responding to an ad. That is a very common way, like pretty much all throughout history. But I remember even reading about bands like Guns N' Roses and Metallica. They all came together because one of them saw an ad in the newspaper or wherever. Hey, we're looking for a guitarist. We're looking for a drummer. They met these guys they never met before, and it turns into something huge. And even when I was getting my start, I just saw an ad on Facebook that Jarvis Griner put up saying he's looking for movie scripts. And I'd never heard of him. I was like, yeah, I'll reach out to this guy. We met for coffee. He read some of my scripts. He read John 3:16. Next thing you know, that movie gets made. And to this day, him and I are still working on stuff together. And like all of us have worked on films he's done and I've done. And so it just goes to show for everyone listening, like those things you see on Facebook, like, hey, we're looking for a writer, looking for an actor. The smallest thing that you just have the courage to respond to and try out, even if you've never done it before, it can lead to big things happening in your life.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was on John 3:16, and that was it. I saw an ad, and it was just as I was starting out. I saw an ad, and I applied. I just applied. They said, "Yeah, come on down," and I was there, every day for geez, I can't even remember how long I was there, but I was there for a long time, which is a lot of fun. And Jarvis, yeah, he's a great guy to work with. I really enjoyed working with Jarvis. I've done a few things with him.
He's one of the best in the industry. Honestly, he's one of my favorite people in the industry.
Yeah, he's really talented. Yeah, I've done a few movie videos. I mean, you and I have been on a few movie videos with him together. So,
Oh yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun. It's you're right, Brandon. You're right. You answer that ad, reach out there, take a leap of faith, and you never know where it ends up.
Look at who's honestly, you don't even need just go out and see what your community theater is auditioning for. I last episode we were talking to Geordie Cheeseman. First time I saw him was in 1984 when Walter Dale did it, and they have open auditions. You just go down, go down for it. Do you get to play a lot of different kinds of actors? Do you find you get cast in a range of different characters?
Mostly goons, but I'm okay with that because there's not a lot of goons out there. So I'm okay with that. But I actually did 3 plays at the St. Albert Dinner Theater as well.
Singing and dancing?
No, they're just acting.
Okay.
Thankfully. But same thing. I just answered an ad one day, and I went down there, and I got cast in one of the main parts, and I've been stuck with them, and I've been volunteering with them for a few years too, and I'm open to anything. If anybody reaches out to me, Brandon's reached out to me a few times and said, "Hey, can you do this?" Yeah, I'll do that. I don't have a problem with that. I think it's great for the community. It's great for the fellowship. I meet so many interesting people. Like I met you guys on set, and it's been great because I consider you guys my friends, and that's the thing about the Edmonton film community. It's one big family. Everybody knows everybody, and it's great because you can say, "Oh, I know a guy who has a part for you." Then a couple days later, you get a call, and he's like, "Yeah, I got a part for you. Want to come down?" Yeah, sure. So that's how I've entered it.
Yeah, and it's the fun thing is like the more sets you go on, you get to see the tiers of the Edmonton like film community. So the more
Yeah,
sets you go on, the more people you meet in the different tiers, and you get to like you develop a familiarity, and everyone's always happy to see you. Everyone's always like, "Hey, you're there."
yeah, exactly. I love showing up to set and seeing familiar faces. It's so inviting and so refreshing. And you see Faizel or you see Brandon or you see Jarvis, all these other actors that you interact with. It's fantastic because it is one big happy family. It's hugs and how you doing? What have
Oh,
you
it's
been doing?
brilliant. I'm an introvert by like normal, just normally I'm an introvert. I'm like very like stayed by myself and stay away from everything. But like and so like normal social interactions scare the crap out of me. But like going on to set, I every other actor is such an extrovert and they're always so happy to see you. I never feel any I feel a little anxiety and I'm like, wait a minute, I love these people. They love me.
Exactly. And I love meeting the new people. If I'm working with somebody new, that's another adventure. And
Oh, it's so fun.
you cross paths with people that you didn't know were actors, and then all of a sudden you're intertwined with these people. And it's like, oh, I haven't seen you in years. And it's so fantastic. And you meet people that are like you become really good friends, and that's great too.
And actors come from such a diverse background. I've met this guy who has his law degree, and I met this guy who has like a band that's going, and I met this guy who draws comic. But like, they all have such a diverse background. It's always so interesting to see who gets into the act, who
Yeah.
gets into the role and
And people
stuff.
ask me all the time, how do I break in? I want to get in. I tell them exactly the same thing. Just answer an ad
Yeah.
and show up there and
Step
be
out the
confident.
door. Yeah.
Yeah. People love that stuff. You go on a job where Brandon's there and you're positive and you listen to direction, you follow direction, you just do what they say, and it becomes a lot of fun. It's not like work. It's a really good entertainment. For like that's what I do. Even when I started doing the plays, I was really nervous because I'd never acted before outside of since I've been 50, I'd never had anything prior to that. But then you meet all these interesting people and they build you up and they give you confidence. And I met people that are like, just do it. You don't know if you're not great at it until you try it. Just do it.
Dive in with both feet.
Yeah. And don't even worry about what other people think of you because they're all there for the same reason. I was on one set with Jarvis, as a matter of fact. I wore a dress. Everybody's like, you wore a dress? Why not? You
What?
know?
I mean, to be a good actor, you have to be supportive of the other actor in the scene, and that just generally means that you're going to like. For me to do a good performance, I got to make sure you feel comfortable. I got to make sure you feel supported. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we're buddy. Or if we're not getting along, then that's all. Like in the scene, if we're enemies, that's a different thing. Maybe we stay apart. But like if
Yeah.
we're just in the scene, I'm trying to get you to like laugh. I'm getting trying to get you to joke because like yeah, that's part of the
Yeah.
chemistry.
Exactly, right? And even if you are enemies on set, it's still good to see that person. You still love that person off
You're
set,
still
right?
developing a relationship with that
Yeah,
person. And even
yeah,
after the camera yells cut, maybe you're like, I really hate you or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
You're developing a relationship with them.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a confidence building thing. It's a learning thing. It's an experience of a lifetime. Many people go, "Oh, I could never do that." You could never do it because you've never tried.
Yeah. I remember even when like around 2015, like kind of when I started doing film seriously, Mental Case was the first thing I did was like our web series. And like when I was in my 20s, I kind of directed some short films, but like they were really shitty. Like I don't really count them. So basically I had like next to no experience. And you would put all this work into it. And I remember it was like the night before the first shoot, I was about to go to bed, and all of a sudden it's like the anxiety hit me. I'm like, I don't know how to direct a movie. I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I was like, part of me is like, I should just like back out. I should just like cancel and be like, hey, you guys do it yourself. But I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But it's like, I can't do that. Whatever. I'll just show up and wing it, and then it went fine. And honestly,
Yeah,
to this day, like part of me still wings it. Like I still don't really know how to direct a movie, but
do
I
you
just
know
go there and kind of make things happen. And now we're on our what like fifth, sixth feature, so I must be doing something kind of right. But it all just
exactly?
happened because I'm like I'm just gonna go there, and even though I don't know what I'm doing, I'll just try, and then I'll do it again and make it a little bit better. And so it's like, yeah, go. Even if you suck as an actor, you can go be in the background. You can still be part of it and hang out with everyone. You don't need to say anything.
Exactly.
So just try it. Try doing one line, see if you do okay. If not, you can always quit. You can quit at any time.
That's right.
Or if you're doing well, keep going and you'll get a bit better and big better. And yeah, so like why not give it a shot?
It's like
Well,
with everything. The more you try at it, the more you play at it, the better you get. And I was going to say one of the best things that I had is from Hotbox, the pot smoking politician. There was a leaflet, and I still have three of the leaflets. Right, and I have an electronic picture frame at work, and it shows up on there all the time. And I made a little joke about it. It's let's be blunt. I tried it and I enjoyed it. Filling your pipe since 1999, things like that, and it shows up on my frame all the time. And I just like, it brings back a lot of memories. And people that have been on set, they as soon as they see themselves, I don't watch a lot of my movies outside of like the premieres, but when you see yourself up there, it's like, yep, I did it. Here I
Yeah.
am.
And
You know?
it's kind of thing no matter what you do with the rest of your life, no one can ever take that away. Like that movie will always exist. Even like
Yeah,
theoretically 500 years from now, hopefully it exists and maybe no one's watching it, but it's like once you write a book, you're in a movie. Once you do
that's
something
right.
like that, it's like, hey, grandchildren, look what I did. Like it's
Exactly.
well, you've
I,
also just added your name to the public record. Like, most
yeah,
people go through their entire life like just being like a handful of like government IDs and shit. But like once you start to create art and you put art out in there, you're trying to add your name to the public record and be like, listen, I existed, I did something,
yeah,
here's what I did. I'm sure you can do that in other ways. The only way I see to do it is by creating art and engaging in the creation of art.
yeah, exactly. When first time I saw my name on IMDb, it was like, wow,
And
yeah.
it's
wow,
there. Do you know the
yeah,
number of times I've pulled up like an old movie from the 70s or the 50s or wherever the hell? Like I stumble across this movie and I'm watching it and I see this one extra or this one background actor that I'm like, man, that person's really good or something. And I go to IMDb and I look them up and I look at all the movies they've been in and like for a little while I'm doing research on this person who like they had a whole life. They had a
yeah,
whole
right.
thing that they lived.
Yeah, and you're right. It's all about creating art. It's somebody else's vision, but you're making it come alive,
Yeah.
right? You're adding life to that part, which for any actor starting out, that's your important role. Is put life into those words. Bring that character to life. My first play that I did, I didn't know anything about doing a play, and I made that character my own. I took my own experience, I made it my own, and people like that's the one you should be doing. So that's the one I did. I played a nervous guy, which is not typically me in real life. So I always say if you want to do good, do something that you're not used to doing, and then you'll be good at it.
That's what I try to like trap yourself. Like if you really want to do something and you're scared, put your name down, sign up at a place where you can't get out of it, or like for stand up. The first time I ever tried stand up, I put my name down. I had somebody there who like if I tried to back out, I knew they'd be there being like, "Come on." So like you just trap yourself into doing it, and then you realize once you take that first step, it's not so scary. If you really want to do it, it's not so
Right.
scary.
I have a mantra. It's I have a mantra that I use, and it's not about the destination. It's about the journey you take.
Yeah.
So, and
Absolutely.
I'm all about that. Like, try new experiences, try new foods, do something different, reach out there, answer that ad, go for that walk. You can't say you don't like it until you've tried it, or you can't say you're no good at it until you've tried it.
Was Hotbox the first time that we worked together?
Yes. Was it?
I think
I think so.
I
Yeah.
think I don't remember anything before that. I think it's where I first met Faizel. How did that
Yeah, it
all come
was
about? Did you audition for that or what happened?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did auditioned at the gym.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
So
pretty
I
I'm
did that.
pretty sure you were one of the people that were just like, yeah, that like as soon as you walked out, we're totally picking that guy. Like it was perfect casting. And so like you mentioned earlier about kind of getting typecast kind of thing. And yeah, I don't think it's that bad. I always find it weird when people are like, oh, I don't want to be typecast as being only James Bond. It's like seriously, is that the worst thing
Yeah.
that can happen in life? Is that you're known as James Bond
fair.
and make
Yeah.
millions
When
of dollars?
they need a goon, I'm there. Hey,
Well, that's where I met you because we met before Hotbox, did we not, Kelly? I think I met you on Give and Take. Did you play a
yeah, I
cop?
was on Give and Take as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was out in was that out the one out in Fort Saskatchewan?
No, 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 no. That was one that I did here. But I feel like either we ran into each other before Hotbox, or I don't think we
Yeah,
met on Hotbox.
again, I've done so many.
Well, that's the thing. There's so
you
many
know,
credits that rack up, right?
they start to blur, but you remember everything, right? You know what I mean? You just
It's
there's
all
so
one
many
big
people.
movie.
Yeah, there's so many wonderful people out there in the movie industry, and again, to Brandon, I appreciate the break that you gave me, because it really gave me confidence and really brought me to the forefront so that I can see how everything works. And I'm doing work behind the camera now, which is amazing, and I love that too. So,
What sort of work are you doing behind the camera?
key grip, best boy.
Well, you are the best boy. We all know this.
Appreciate that. I just like to have fun, and if you bring like I said before, you bring that positive attitude to the set, there's no reason why they won't bring you back.
Yeah.
That's, the mantra I have. I've always heard the key to success is never be the smartest guy in the room and always show up on time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I always
And
find that weird. That's what, now that I'm in the industry, I always find it weird that people are like, "How do I get involved?" It's like it almost like I don't know how you not get involved. I get involved when I don't want to be involved.
Can you please take some of my responsibilities? Because
Yeah,
yeah, I've been on three sets in one day, and it's fantastic. The energy, and it brings you up. But like you say, yeah, just answer that ad, go for it. If someone
yeah,
says they got a part, like I've shown up to places where like, oh, I'm gonna go be an extra. Oh, okay, well I'll go be an extra too. That's a lot of fun. Being an extra
yeah.
is a lot of fun. And as long as people, like, there's an old saying is there's no small roles. And that being an extra is not a small role. It's an important role, believe it or not.
yeah,
People don't like, I don't want to be an extra. It's too small. It's an important role. The
The
movie
yeah.
movie would look terrible if it didn't have background like extras. The
exactly,
movie would look garbage if it didn't have people in the background.
And there's still like
exactly.
there's some of the projects I've done where totally the production's fault, but like if you don't stage the background right or it looks weird, it detracts from the movie. So it's not like
Yeah,
you just got to sit there. There's a bit more to it than that, right? Like you can fuck up the background casting if it's not done right. Yeah, there's parts in Hotbox where we were kind of new and it looks like we told every like who goes to a party and then there's like 15 people standing by themselves perfectly spaced out in the room, like there's things like that where it's like, we didn't quite know what we were doing yet, but
Improvement.
but you
yeah.
learn and you grow and you move on. Like, because if you stay in that hot box mentality, like, oh, that wasn't this and that wasn't that, and you move on and you become bigger and better and stronger, and you see more, your visions become different. And that's the same with anything in life. But as acting, even if you're afraid, like you say, Faizel, even if you're afraid or you think you're shy and stuff like that, just go do it.
Yeah.
Just go do it.
Do it. And if you don't like it after you do it, all well and good. But if you feel like you want to do it, just do it. Just go
Yeah,
do
and
it.
there's lots of opportunities out there, lots.
And there's lots of things just beyond just being an actor. Like like you said, there's extras, there's working behind the camera. There's a million jobs that you could like land into just by being on set once and be like, wait a minute, I don't really like this acting thing, but you know what I like is holding this boom stick up and like recording the sound. This is what I like.
Yeah, yeah. There's those guys too, and you're exactly right. Like, I mean, I never thought I would like working behind the camera until I got the opportunity to work behind the camera. And with Brimstone brought me in and made me key grip, and I loved it. It was so much fun because you get to see everything, not just your scene. Because if you're not in your scene, you're in the green room. You get to see everything.
Mhm.
You get to hear what the directors are saying. You get to talk to the cameraman, all that stuff. So that to me was a lot of fun.
It's kind of why you like Sam Au is the perfect example. We just met
Yeah,
him because he used to drop off his stepdaughter on set. That's how we got to know. All of a sudden now, fast forward a few years, and he's like one of our main team, and he's like sitting in on creative meetings, and he's like a main producer. He's involved in like every movie made in Edmonton, and it's like he just showed up and started doing stuff. He has like no training, no experience. He just
exactly.
start making yourself useful and meet people and then next thing you know and especially in Edmonton, like once you know a bunch of kind of key people, they're gonna be like, hey, there's this other movie shooting, come with, let's go work on that one. And yeah, there's so much that you could benefit from just putting yourself out there.
Well, and another part that I got, and again, it was just answering an ad, is I'm in a board game.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you're in oh wait, don't tell me. I know this game. I know the name of it. It is not Mulholland Drive. It's Rutherford Manor.
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't know why my brain was like Mulholland Drive.
My dog is in it too. My dog
Oh,
was one of the
really?
cards as well. Yeah, they were looking for a box of puppies, and they said, if you got a dog, a small dog, send us a picture. So I sent a picture, and boom, she's in her own. She's got her own. She's like you said, like now she's in there for the rest of for forever. She's in a board game forever.
Yeah.
You know, I applied for a job, and it's funny because I applied for that, and it was a volunteer, and they took my picture, and then when they were showing the pictures back, uh, the guy that did the artwork for it, Jamie Pruden, he's like, Kelly? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you don't remember me? You know, I mean, that's like 30 years later. And there it is. It's Jamie Pruden. It's like we worked together. He was my boss when I worked at a place on White Avenue. And it was like, yeah, I haven't seen him in 30. Now we're good friends. You know, he did the logo for my podcast. So I love it. It's great. You just, like I say, it's a small world. And you bump into these people that you haven't seen in 30 years. And you meet so many nice people, like so many loving, caring, compassionate, deep-hearted people everywhere. Like it's just the acting scene is a different world and it's beautiful.
Most of my friend circle now are people I've met through film.
I was going to say for most of the time though, you're so focused on your craft. When we're on set, and that's one thing I noticed about you, Brandon, you're so focused on your craft that we just stay back and just watch the magic happen, which is great because that just shows how focused and how deep you're rooted into that movie. And you're doing your directing and you're talking with your other your ads and your DOPs and your sound guys, and you're involved with those, but you're so deeply involved. It's nice to watch that, and I love going on set, and I like watching the directors like yourself that get mentally involved with it and stay focused on that. And it's good. You want to work with somebody that you don't want to work with somebody that's all over the place like a scatterbrain, and you want somebody that focused. And that's what I can say about Brandon is he does remain focused through the whole thing. But he does have the times where he can go off to the side and laugh and have a sandwich and
Yeah,
maybe
I
get a
kind
drink of
of
water.
part of me misses, I'm on set and I'm just always under stress and trying to make things work. And then I
Yeah.
just look over and I see people sitting around just having a good time. And part of me is like, man, I want to be an extra on someone else's project where I could just sit there and not have to worry about a thing and just look at
Not
the
have to
crew.
worry about what it's gonna look like in the edit and what's
Yeah.
gonna
That's to be the
look
crew
like
right now.
after
They
you're
got to
done
worry
with the
about all
edit.
these problems. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is refreshing because, like I say, when you're on set and you watch the directors, and Brandon, I give you credit for that. You can see the gears turning in your head. You can see it as you're reading it and you're walking around. You can see you're envisioning things in your mind's eye, and that's cool. That's really cool because that's that creative process, and that's something that I love is getting those creative juices flowing. And acting is one of those things for me. It's getting that creative juice flowing.
Do you have any favorite projects that you've worked on?
Hot,
Any like projects that really stood out to you?
hot box.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good answer.
I really, that's one of my biggest. Boneyard Racers, which was a fantastic film.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, I even like working on Poppy Love because I worked with the likes of Mr. Las Vegas, Wayne Newton.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, Ellie King, Rosanna Arquette,
Oh, sweet.
Hopper Penn. So like I was in the same room with all these big people, and it was just like, wow, this is pretty cool. But then you get, the people like myself who's just an extra, but then you meet all the other extras and they're like, oh yeah, I was an extra in that one. I was an extra in that one. I was an extra. So it's like, oh, you start to,
You
it's like
find out,
war
like,
stories.
You're like, oh, you're an extra, but you also like make films yourself, and you have this entire IMDb of films you've made, and oh, you're in a band and you have like 6 albums out, and like, yeah, it's just wild how many people like have that creative endeavor in them.
Yeah, and for me, like I did acting, I've done acting, and now I'm doing. I got my own. It's not really a podcast. It's like I do it for the hockey games. So once every day at game day, I do this video thing, and we put it out there for the world to see. And I've been doing it for like 4 years, but I've been only texting it to people. I was texting it to 10 people, and then someone said, actually, Preston Iwasiak, he says, "Man, you got to put that on. Like you got to video that." I'm like, "All right." And I was nervous. I was really nervous about it. I'm telling you. But as it's getting more comfortable, and I'm starting to find my rhythm, and it's just like, okay, I can do this. So again, just do it.
Well, it's kind of like with this podcast and the movie reviews Faizel and I do. Like a few years back, like when I was starting, I was so nervous to even be on a podcast, and I'm not a guy to give my opinion. Like I've never whether it's politics or movies or music. Like I've never stated my thoughts on a particular movie. Like online, I talk about it with a person one-on-one, but I've never been one to be public with it. So now it's
Right.
like, hey, let's start reviewing movies, and it's like, well, I gotta like share my opinion on stuff. It's so weird. But here we are, a few months go by, and it's like, hey, I'm still doing it, and it's like gets me out of my shell, and we got a few people watching, so.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a form of exercise, right? It's like just start doing something that's scary and it'll get easier, and then who knows where it'll
Right.
lead.
Yeah. And that's all it's all about. And like I could go back to again the Edmonton film industry. I've gone outside of Edmonton and done films, but the Edmonton film industry is completely a very compassionate, loving community of people, directors, actors, extras, sound. I mean, I like I go on a set and I look for people. Oh, there's a sound guy. Oh, yeah, I know that DOP. I know the AD. Oh, there's the director. Yeah, I know all these guys. So it's
Well, it's
great. And
fun to like be able to like just talk to everyone on set and like yeah, like you said, it's just like yeah, hey, you're there, you're there. It's the funnest job I've ever worked, and I've worked a bunch of jobs as you have as well, Kelly, and it's one of
yeah,
the funnest jobs I've ever worked.
yeah, I agree. It is a fun job, and even if you're volunteering your time, it's fun. Like it's not, and I don't even consider it a job because I like it so much. You know, Brandon just reached out to me not too long ago. Hey, got a film coming up next summer. I won't be directing it, but I wrote it. Are you interested? Yeah, sure. Why not? That's the first thing I say. Sure, why not?
Like, why
You know,
not?
I
What
did.
else
I
I
did
gotta do?
the homeless guy. Sure, I'll come out and be a homeless guy. I don't care.
Yeah, Kelly was in I'm Haunted too. He played the guy that came up and knocked on the window when Bailey was sitting in the car.
Yeah, and I went out there and I had on my grubby clothes, but I didn't have. I just went and I grabbed some dirt off the ground and just rubbed it into my face, and there you go. You
Yeah.
know, I get into the part, like live it, like just embrace that energy, and just your energy comes out across the screen because if you're not looking good and you're just being that limp piece of bread, and it's not a lot of fun.
It's not working. Nothing, you're not seeing something like you're not seeing any magic.
You and I did a music video together, Faisal.
We did the
I can't.
not Fleet Foxes, King of Foxes,
Yes, that
Pleasant
was a lot of fun.
Solutions. That was a fun music video
Yeah,
too.
Pleasant Solutions. Thanks for calling Pleasant Solutions.
I'm pretty sure they still have glitter in the carpet of the clip we shot in.
They do. That was a lot of glitter. They
Oh
opened up
man,
like
was it?
4 big
Yeah, we
bags
just
of glitter.
and it's like carpeting too, right? So like we just poured them. So that's the one drawback, I guess, of film. You'll destroy everything in the pursuit of making a good film.
Yep, that is true. We can fix it. Don't worry about it. We got paint.
Well, we got vacuum cleaners, we got
Yeah,
mops, we got yeah, it's
yeah.
all good.
But that video was a lot of fun because
It was.
we
That
got to
was a
be
good
creative.
song.
Yeah, you get to be creative as much as the director allows you to be creative, and that's great because they're like, just have fun. Oh, well, I can have fun, and it was a lot of fun. I've done a couple music videos now, and they're a lot of fun.
And like you said, you make those connections because I've seen the person from that band every now and then. I see them around, and it's just
Oh,
like, hey, I know you now, and like we're friends. Like it's just yeah, the your connections get wider, and
yeah.
it's always fun working on a music video. Like there's always so many people.
The first music video I did, I can't remember the band's name off a hand, but then it ends up my brother knows one of the drummer for the band. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is a small world, right? So yeah, it was great. It's nice to be recognized, and I got recognized a couple times. It's great to be recognized. I got recognized a couple times where people said, "Aren't you that guy?" And then I had one lady ask me, "Can I have your autograph?" And she says,
Yeah.
"Yeah." She says, "Oh, one day this will be worth a lot of money." I'm like, "There's not enough days in this world."
Yeah. What did she
Hey,
recognize you from?
From a play.
Oh, sweet.
oh,
And
that's
my girlfriend,
brilliant.
this my girlfriend Carolyn, the same thing. She was out at Superstore, and somebody recognized her. Hey, aren't you from that? Yeah, yeah. That's what it is.
I got recognized for Hotbox once. I think when it was playing the day of the premiere, I left the premiere and I was walking past some people and I heard them being like, "Hey, it's this player," and I was just like, my strut got a little bit more fun after that. I was just like, yeah, I am.
Well, now an interesting story about Hotbox. For the premiere, I came in character as the pot smoking politician. I had to tell some people like, this is just going to be me being a character. This is not the way I am in real life.
Yeah.
And I was just a slime ball. Like I was hitting on the girls and making loot. And I had my bodyguards with me and everything. But afterwards, I just told them, like, it's all in fun. Don't take it personal. And they're like, okay, gotcha. So, you know, doing that, like, it just brings so much energy to yourself and to the film. And, it makes people appreciate how hard you work being that character. Because it's not always very easy to be a character. Sometimes you really have to dig deep inside of yourself and find that character. Like the first play, like I say, the first play I did, I had to dig deep inside myself and find that character. And I had to analyze and figure out, how does he work? And for mostly, if you don't get the exact direction, you build that character up in yourself and you let the world know how it is, how you portray that character, how you see that character. And it's like I say, lots of fun. If anybody ever has the opportunity to be an extra, even to an extra, you're on set, you're with some really talented people, really great, loving, caring, understanding, compassionate people. And that's what I find about the Edmonton scene.
Who want to see you succeed. Like, your success is my success. So I want you to have a good performance, because then I'll have a good performance.
Exactly. And you get invited back. If they love your energy and they loved your positivity, yeah, come on back. We want you. You want to be an extra again? Yeah, we got a time for an extra. You want another lead role? You want to be a cop? Yeah, sure. Come on down. We need you. That's how it works. That's how it works. These people are great people.
Awesome. Well said. And I think we're almost out of time, so we should probably wrap it up. Yeah, thanks, Kelly. So yeah, I guess thanks for coming on and sharing your wisdom, and we'll see everyone next time.
Thanks for having me. Great seeing you again. We got to get together again and make a movie.
Yes. Bye. Bye, everyone.
See ya.